as we all setting for the practice, just for recording, I will mention that we will be using the loop, resistance loop, if you own one. If you don't have, it's still okay. You can still be able to practice. And we will be using the very light resistance band. Also, if you're not owning one, you still will be able to practice today. And as usual, I would like you to have 2 blocks set up just for some support that we might need. And let us take a moment in a seated position to start the practice with our relaxed arms on the knees, gently closed eyes. And allow yourself to admit the beginning of the practice. And always nice to practice in the morning, as we usually not as busy before the practice, so we still could be in a quiet mind and a more relaxed state of mind, and mind is not overwhelmed with a lot of information yet. But maybe you're waking up early, maybe you already had some conversations or some activities, especially involved electronics, maybe reading news. So you may be still already processing this information. So allow your breath to help you to settle on the mat, settle for the practice. If you would like to use a personal intention that might come to your mind right now, is it a word, is it a phrase, or a name? You might think of that right now. And from here, I will invite you to open your eyes if you have them gentle closed, and we'll start the practice lying on the back. So set yourself in a comfortable position with the support for the head if needed. Some of us might need a couple of layers of folded blanket under the back of the head. Set your pelvis comfortable, making sure you're in a neutral position. And from here, we're going to take the arms overhead, and let us just pull their arms up toward the ceiling, taking their shoulder blades off the floor, and then just press the shoulder blades down without involving the trapezius. So try to relax the top of the shoulders. Try to work just with the muscles of the upper back. And while you're doing this, so it's like if someone is pulling your arms up and you're rounding your upper back, and then you're dropping. Start noticing if you are compensating from the mid back or from your lower back. So if you want to arch here, so you would like to avoid that, maintaining the neutral position. So this simple move also start activation of the core muscles to maintain the lower body in the neutral position on the mat. And let us just drop the shoulder blades down, so trying to get a really supported upper back, maintaining neutral position, and let's lift one heel at a time into the dead back position. Right away you start feeling your lower abdomen is turned on, your rectus abdominals, those muscles that connecting the ribs and the hip bones will be turned on. And some of you might have a tendency to arch, so maintain neutral. So you don't want to have a pelvic tilt and the knees close. You just keep the knees above the hips, and let's rest. Exhale. So we'll do the same one more time. So setting the arms up toward the ceiling. Draw the shoulder blades down, ground them, maintain the neutral spine, lift one leg at a time with actively flexed feet and knees are above the hips. Usually you can check that if you're touching the knees with the tip of the fingers, you just really barely reach it, right? So if you easily can place your hands on your knees, you probably have a pelvic tilt and the knees too close. And just hold here, have your breath normal, and maintain neutral spine. No arching and no pelvic tilt. Right away feeling how your all the core muscles are activated here. And let's rest. Exhale. So we'll go one more time into this. So setting the arms here, dropping the shoulder blades down, lifting the knees, flexing the feet, and maintaining it here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's rest. So maybe you would like to stretch your lower back. Maybe some of you feel that you worked lower back a little bit more than you supposed. And we will bring the knees together. So we're gonna practice the bridge today a little bit different. You can watch me first. So make sure that your heels are not too close to your hips, but not too far. Just like a comfortable position for the knees. And you would like to keep squeezing your knees all the time as we're gonna come into bridge. It's gonna be really hard. Your knees will want to get apart. So you're squeezing the knees, so your inner thighs and lower abdomen are working. And then we're gonna come down, not all the way to touch the floor, and come up and come down. And we're gonna do 3 times and then we'll rest, okay? So set your hands on the sides of the hips. And all the time you want to work on squeezing knees together. That will be the most challenging part. So with inhale, lift the hips up, squeeze your knees, come down without touching 1, lift, come down without touching 2, keep squeezing your knees, come up, and come in all the way down, exhale. We'll have a next set when you're ready. Lift, drop a little bit, keeping knees together. Lift, drop hips, knees together. Lift, drop, and rest. So you start feeling your inner thighs working, and that's okay. That's exactly what we're targeting. A little bit different work for the glutes. So when ready, squeeze your thighs together. Lift, come down without touching. Lift, come down without touching. Lift, come down, and rest. Okay, maybe here we would like to bring the knees to your chest and rock from side to side. And then I would like you, if you own the resistance band, place it around your feet. Okay, so if you don't, you will just practice that without the band, but the same move. You're coming with your legs into their dead back position. And for this one, we're going to interlace the hands and we'll lift the head off the floor. So we are in posterior tilt. So the lower back is pressed down to the floor. And then we're going to stretch the right leg. But what you want to control is your other knee. The knee is not coming to your chest. You're controlling it here. You're resisting and then come back, controlling the knees again. Stretch the other leg and you resist with the leg that is bent knee and come back, okay? So if everybody's set, lift your heels. Make sure the heels are not collapsing and your knees are not going to your chest. Lift your head off the floor. And we're going to extend the right leg and resist with the left. Come back, reset, stretch, reset, that one. Extend the leg, control the other knee, come back. Make sure the head is off the floor, your lower back is rounded here, press down, 2, stretch, resist with the other knee, come back, stretch, resist. That's 3. We have 2 more each leg. Stretch, come back, stretch, come back, control the knee, control the heels, control the lower back. Stretch, resist, come back, stretch, resist, come back, and let's rest. Take the band off the feet and maybe take your arms in T position, drop the knees from side to side. So some of you maybe feel it in the wrong spot. You shouldn't feel any tension in your lower back. If you feel in the lower back, unfortunately, your hip flexors may be taking over, your lower abdomen maybe need a little bit strengthening, so we will work on that in the future. And when you're ready, start rocking from the head to the hips, and when you're ready, come into the seated position and come into the tabletop position. For this one, in a couple of moments, we're going to be needing a resistance band. So have your resistance band just prepared in front. But let's first come into the tabletop position. So now you should feel quite a lot of awareness of the front of your body. So let us come into the tabletop position, maintaining neutral spine, maintaining neutral neck position, having strong arms. The same idea is how we pressed the shoulder blades to the mat, have a strong upper back. Let's tuck the toes and lift the knees off the floor. Hold here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down. If you in between need have a quick stretch for the wrist, please have the back of the palms on the floor and allow a wrist to rest. Let's come again into the same position. Tuck your toes, lift your knees off the floor, hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Again, quick stretch. We have just one more set. And come into the tabletop. Control your pelvis position. Control your stable shoulders with the chest and triceps. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees off the floor. Hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, and while you're resting, I will show you the next variation that we will practice today. I'm going to be turning with the front to the camera. So we're in a tabletop position where knees are together. We will be extending one leg and lifting the leg without collapsing here. And then today we're going to be just stretching the free arm to the side, and here is the idea to control the position with the right side. So it looks like that. You're extending the right leg, lifting, holding the band, and we'll be just stretching. So stabilizing the shoulders, stabilizing the right side of the body, and we're going to do around 5 stretches, and then we change. Okay, so when you're ready, if you don't have a resistance band, you can just do the simple hold here or simple hold this way. Okay, so it's a variation in case you're not owning the resistance band. So set yourself in a tabletop position. I'm going to be with my front to the camera. And bring your knees closer to the midline. It's just giving you a little bit more stability here. Extend your right leg. Stabilize your right hand by activating again your right shoulder, right triceps. Lift your right foot off the floor. Make sure you're not extending. Engage the abdomen. Find your left hand stretching the band, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's reset. Come back to the center. Get your left hand supporting your chest. Extend your left leg. Lift your left leg off the floor. Stretch the right arm and go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's do again. So I would like you to make sure that you're not stretching backward, but you're stretching, think more of stretching forward. That's probably will make you into the T position. So let us go again. Bring the knees together, extend the right leg, stabilize yourself here, bring the band into the right arm, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's change. Extend the left leg, have the right hand supporting, lift your left leg, and let's go for, sorry, I mixed you up. Left leg, right arm. Go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here, we'll just come into the child pose, stretching the arms, stretching the sides of the body, relaxing the shoulders a little bit. Exhale. And when you're ready, let's come to the downward dog. Set your feet hip distance. Bring the head between your arms. Long spine. And then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Let's have this resistance band just in front of the mat and find your way to come into standing position. So we are on the front of the mat with the feet hip distance, and now with a bit of an activating of glutes, hamstrings, abdomen, internal muscles of the core, you have more awareness of how to hold your pelvis in neutral position. And we'll start from the mountain pose for the couple of sun salutation to warm up further. With inhale, lift the arms up, maintaining all neutral position, no extension. Bring the palms together, hinge from the hips. Exhale, bring the head down, hands on the floor. Step your left foot forward. Let's, for the first one, drop the left knee down to the floor. Just find the comfortable position for the back knee. Bring the hands to the thighs, lift the chest up, press the hips forward a couple of times. Just a little bit of the hip opening here. Let's take the arms overhead, bring the gaze up toward the ceiling. Bit of a stretch of the front of the body, stretch of the shoulders. Bring the hands on the floor, tuck the left toes, and step into the downward dog. So in this downward dog, set the distance between hands and feet the way that you're able to hinge in the hips, maintaining neutral spine. Think of your happy dog that keeps your keeps the tail up. Make sure that you're not tensing the neck, but not dropping the head too low. Aligning head with the arms more or less. Look forward and come into plank. So in this plank, you have like a whole hold position. You're tucking the tailbone under, pulling the belly in, pushing the floor away, so activating your shoulders. Then drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. Set your hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Strong legs, lift your torso up. Maybe just the tip of the fingers touching the floor, the base of the palms off the floor. You're trying to keep your elbows as close to the rib cage as possible. Then tuck the toes, press yourself maybe to the cat stretch, and then into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. Finding your right foot, maybe coming to the midline for support, stepping the left foot forward and dropping the right knee down. So bring the hands to the thighs and maybe again having a couple of pulses here just to stretch the hip flexors a little bit more. Then when you're stable, balance, take your arms up, bring your gaze up toward the ceiling, hold here, but be in control of the balance from the midsection of the torso. Release the hands on the floor, tap the toes, step into downward dog. Exhale. On exhale, flow into plank. Hold the plank strong, resist to the gravity. Then drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale again, the hands on the sides of the rib cage, shoulders rolls back, strong legs, lift the torso up. Again, maybe just the tip of the fingers touching the floor. Use the back muscles to lift the torso and not jam in your spine. And then tuck the toes, chin through the chest. Exhale, come into the downward dog. On exhale, look forward, walk to the front of the mat. Bring the hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway. Let's pause here for the moment and let us check the lower back. So you don't want to extend here. You want to be in a neutral position. So you can use your both hands to help yourself to find this pelvis position when you feel that your abdomen muscles are engaged. And then start bringing the body weight to the heels, lifting the torso up and taking the arms in front of you for the chair pose. Shoulders are relaxed. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press from the heels all the way up. Inhale, but maintain a neutral position. Very often when we're coming in the end of the flow, we love to back bend. Maintain neutral. Exhale, bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Let's flow again. Inhale. Hinging from the hips. Exhale, folding all the way down. Stepping the left foot back into the lunge. Check your front knee. It's exactly 90 degrees. Then bring your hands to your thigh and lift the torso up. Keep yourself folding forward. So there is a space between the lower rib and the thigh, but you have in your back leg anchoring you here. And when you're ready, take your arms on the both sides of the head. If it's too much, you can have your arms on the sides of the hips, so not overwhelming your shoulders. Neck is neutral. Feel how you're pulling the belly from the thigh, but not extending here. There should be in a neutral position. Bring your hands on the floor and step your right foot into plank. Let's drop the knees down for the moment. Check that your hands are exactly under the chest. Now here, make sure that you're in a slightly posterior tilt position. And then look forward 2 meters in front of you. And thinking you want to touch the floor with your nose. Start bending your elbows and having moments here in a push-up. And then exhale, belly down to the floor. Hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Pointing toes. Lift the chest halfway. Again, feel that the back of the body working here to lift the chest off the floor. Tag the toes. Exhale. Come into the downward dog. Last in downward dog, check all the alignment that we usually are talking. The middle finger, the index finger, knuckle pressed. Are you trying to keep your knees bent if needed to maintain the hinge and neutral spine? Neck is relaxed. Stepping the right foot a little bit closer to the midline just to have more support. Stepping the left foot forward. Lifting the torso, but your gaze is down to the floor, so you're not looking in front, you're looking down. Pulling the belly off the thigh, and then anchoring yourself with the back leg when you're ready from there. So it's one line, shoulder, hip, and arms. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands on the floor, step into plank, then drop the knees. So you have slightly posterior tilt. Move the shoulders forward, and as you bend in, your elbows should go 90 degrees, and you're heading here for the set, and then exhale, belly down to the floor. Hands on the sides of the rib cage, roll the shoulders back, strong legs, and lift the chest off the floor, neutral neck. And then press the hands, tug the toes. Exhale, come into the downward dog. Long spine. Press in again, knuckles off the index finger and the thumb to the mat. Look forward, walk to the front of the mat. Again, feet are hip distance, bring the hands to the shins. Neutral position, no extension. Neutral position, then body weight comes to the heels. You're lifting the torso up, finding your chair pose here. Shoulders relaxed, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press from the hips up. Exhale, bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Flow it again. Inhale. Hinging from the hips. Exhale, folding all the way down. Catching the floor and stepping the left foot back. This time dropping the heel off the floor. Picking up the resistance band if you prepared one. If not, just come into the warrior 2 position. So the right knee is 90 degrees. The outer edge of the left foot is parallel, and you would like to bring the band under the left foot. Okay, so you're having the band here in your right hand, and you're going to take it around the head. So the band is behind the back. You're holding that with the right hand. And then from here, hinging from the hips, you're coming into the extended triangle. Stretching your right arm with the band, rotating the left shoulder back and having the left hand on your lower back to control that you're not collapsing forward. You are here in one plane, parallel to the edge of the mat, looking up above your left shoulder. Holding here, feeling that your obliques are engaged here to maintain this angled torso position. Release the right leg. Resist the band all the way. Turn the right foot out, left foot in. Find your lunge here. Bring the band under the right foot. Take the band behind the body, stretching the left arm. It doesn't need to be a huge resistance. Now from the left hip, hinge here, bring the right hand to your lower back and look above your right shoulder. Press the front knee forward. Try to think of alignment of your right leg, torso, and your left arm is one straight line here. Head is on this line as well. No extension in the lower back. Maintain the engagement of the mid-back. Exhale. Release the arm and let us turn the toes in. Just place the band down and just hand here for the relaxed position. Exhale. Then you're welcome to use the block on the mid-level to bring the hands on the block. So make sure that the block is slightly in front. With a side view, you have the space between the line of the heels and line of the block on the length of your torso. And then we'll have a left hand on the block, bringing the right hand to the hip, twist with the right shoulder up. If you like, you can take the arm up, but if you're finding that your right shoulder is rotating you forward and your position looks and feels like this, it's better to have the hand on the lower back. The lengthening on inhale forward and on exhale twisting the shoulders to the position to get parallel or perpendicular to the floor. The right shoulder should be like on the alignment with the plane perpendicular to the floor. Exhale. Set yourself in a moment here on the center rest. Then have a right hand on the midline. So align the right hand with your spine. Keep your right shoulder above this right palm. Your left arm can up, or your left hand could be on the lower back, and work more into external rotation of the shoulder, lengthening with the crown of the head forward. If you want to bend your knees equally. And fold back. And just one more time, just have a passive fold. Exhale. And then lift the chest up. You can take the block away. Walk with your hands toward the right foot. Rotate to face the front of the mat and step into plank. Hold the plank. And then drop the knees down and come all the way to the belly. Extend your arms here, bring the forehead down to the floor. On next inhale, you lift in the left leg and the right arm. Align your arm and the head, point the toe. Try to create arch. And this arch is equal in the neck, mid back, lower back, and the leg. Exhale. Lift the left arm and the right leg. Head is aligned with the arm. Don't lift your chin high. Don't extend your neck. Exhale. Again, the right leg, left arm. Hold. Release. Left arm, right leg. Hold. Release. Again, right arm, left leg. Hold. Release. Left arm, right leg. Hold. Release. Bring the hands on the sides of the ribs and press yourself into the child pose. Very slowly, so that's just for the contour pose after the back bends. Exhale. And then look forward. Come into the tabletop position and step your right foot forward into that 90-90 lunge. So you're in a neutral position here. And then from here, we're gonna tag the left toe. So that will be really hard to do. We will try to press the right heel and lift the left knee off the floor, tucking the tailbone under and holding here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Exhale and tuck your toes, maybe tap them, and step your left foot forward. So you need to have your left heel not far away. It's just the length of your thigh. Maintain neutral spine position. Tuck the right toes. Tuck the tailbone and then lift the knee off the floor. Tuck the tailbone more. Hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knee. Bring the hands to the floor. Get yourself into tabletop position and then come into the downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Bring the hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway. Again, maintaining neutral position and then come into another chair pose. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press yourself up. Exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Shake your legs. And if you are owning this loop, you would like to take this loop. And if not, you can do exactly the same exercise without the resistance. So set your loop around your feet. And then bring the body weight to the right leg and stabilize your hip. So don't collapse to the hip. Engage your glutes, stabilize your hip, and then just stretch as much as possible. Maintain a neutral spine. So you don't want to lean back when you're doing this. You are working on the hip flexor, those deep core muscles that is really, really tight and weak. Hold, hold, hold. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, smile for a one, hold, and release. So you can walk in between your feet. If you're not practicing with a resistance band, you would like to lift your knee as high as possible and have this compression. So we, again here using the band, so bring the body to the left foot, stabilizing the hip before we continue. When we're ready, we just resist, maintaining here the neutral spine and holding. Holding, holding, holding. Make sure shoulders are relaxed. Your trapezius sometimes love to work for your hip flexor. Make sure they're not. Smile and release. Great. Again, we're gonna just walk, and this time we're gonna bring the ankles inside the band. If you're not having the band, you just do the same exercise without the band. We again stabilize in the right hip, and this time we'll lift the left leg, and you're not going to be stretching much. You're just pressing the ankle into the band, and from here you fold a little bit, and we're going to take the arms on the both sides of the head. So think of the fold from the hip, not from the waist area. Continue to press and stabilize your right hip. So this is really good for the hip stabilization, but for the hip that is supporting us. And release. Walk a little bit. While you might feel it in the other hip, it's a great stabilization exercise for the standing hip. Bring the body weight to the left foot, lift your right foot, stretch. Just lean a little bit, like the same angle as your leg. Take your arms overhead. Hold. Hold. Relax shoulders, relax face. Hold. Press, 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 press. And release. Great. So let us take the band away. Shake your legs, and we'll practice one more balance pose with a resistance band. If you're not having a resistance band, you will just practice the balance pose without, visualizing that you have it. So get your band around your left heel. I will demonstrate, and then you will be practicing. So we're going to be coming here. First, exercising the awareness of the back leg engagement. Having the hip square. Those bands on the sides will give you indication if one hip is higher than the other. And you can stay just here, just slightly having the resistance in the band with the straight arms. If your band is long enough and it's light enough, you can stretch the arms forward. But this is depend on the band, so you might not be able to do that. No worry if it's not happening. So you're going to just have your hands on the sides of the hips. So bring the body weight to the right foot, and having the soft knee, that's going to activate the hamstring of the standing leg. Lift your left foot. So start from the moderate position. So maybe that's only where you can control your hips, as you don't want to rotate. Press the heel back, and you might just fold forward and hold a little bit of resistance. I want you today emphasize the work of the back leg, the leg in the air. If you think that you can stretch the arms forward, but for that you need to have a very long band and very light band. If you have a pretty strong band, it might be not possible. So you press in the arms. If you're not using the band, you can just bring your arms in front. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's release. So work here, shake a little bit, and let's go to the other side. So first, stabilize your standing leg, standing hip. Then lift the leg off the floor. Flex the foot, so you already here feel some resistance, feel some work of the leg in the air. And then when you're lifting the heel, you're folding forward, trying to align the body and their leg. And next one is a stretch. If it's not working, just hold. You can even have your arms on the sides of the body like that, as long as you feel that you're pressing the right foot into the band. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. So let us take the band away. Step to the front of the mat. Take a moment here to catch the breath. I want you to focus on the alignment again. Glutes, pelvis, hamstrings, abdomen muscles. So trying to balance the position of the pelvis from engagement of the posterior chain muscles and the frontal abdomen muscles. Let's, with inhale, lift the arms overhead. We're going to have a pause here. So this is a really very functional position. What we usually do, we just collapse into the lower back. So start working with the glutes and abdomen to stabilize the pelvis, to get the strong support for anything that your upper body is doing. Then hinging from the hips and coming into the fold. Again, neck neutral, lower back is neutral. You're not rounded and you're not extending. You're not taking your tailbone up like you're going into downward dog. Then touch the floor and step your left foot back. Strong legs. Lift your arms in front of you. Hold as warrior 1 in this variation. So making sure you're not folding forward this time. Your shoulders sit above the hips and back leg. Just remember how we had the resistance band around the back foot when we were in balance. You should feel the same work of the back leg. Bring the hands on the floor, step into plank. Push the floor. Dropping the knees and moving forward, bending elbows, slowly coming down on the belly. Exhale. Hands on the sides of the rib cage, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up, tug the toes, exhale, downward dog. Stepping the right foot a little bit closer to the midline for support, stepping the left foot forward into lunge. Bring the hands on the hips, lift the torso up. Again, using the back leg for support, taking the arms in front. I love this variation much more because it's not creating tension for the shoulders. Very often when we're trying to lift the arms, we're just creating so much tension that we already have in trapezius. And here is more awareness of the strength of the body. So a great static strength pose, isometric strength here. Bring the hands on the floor, step into plank. Tug, to drop the knees and move forward with the shoulders, bend your elbows. Exhale, come down. Hands on the sides of the rib cage, roll the shoulders back. Strong leg, lift the chest up. Tug the toes. Exhale, come into the downward dog. Taking the breath. And then let's drop the knees down to the floor. Have a moment in the child pose, maybe relaxing your shoulders, maybe a bit of a stretching of the hips, stretching of the glutes, lower back, exhale. And we'll have a little bit more of a core strengthening sequence. Just 3 more exercises. So the first one, just take a look. It's going to be forearm plank. So in a forearm plank, you're aligning shoulders above the palms. You're tucking the tailbone under. You're using your glutes. So all what you know about the pelvis alignment should come in place here. And what we're going to do, we're going to just touch, just touch, just touch. And when you touch, you don't want to rotate. So there's no rotation. If it's hard to touch, just think of lifting. Just lifting. Just lifting. Okay, so get into position. And I will count for 10, and then we'll rest, and then we'll do 2 more sets, okay? So when you're ready, set yourself into forward arm planks. Up to you what you do with the arms, as long as you're balancing on the other arm and not lifting your hips. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop the knees, rest. Come into seated, shake your arms. Next set is just 8. So, or just lifting your forearms, or trying to touch without rotation. Okay, ready? Let's come into the forearm plank. Tug the tailbone, so strong support. And when you're ready, start with the other arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. And drop the knees. Rest. Okay, we have one more set. And it's just 5 counts. Ready. I know you love it. It's a fun one. So when you're ready, come into forward arm plank. Push the floor around your upper body. Tug the tailbone, engage your glutes. And when you're lifting your arm, press the same foot to the floor. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's come onto the back lying position. And bring your knees to your chest, rock from side to side, shake your arms, stretch your shoulders if needed. A little bit of the lower abdomen work here. Bring your hands behind the back of the head. Lift your legs up. Lift your head and shoulders if you can off the floor. You have their lower back pressed to the floor. And we're going to lower the right leg, and then the left leg, and then the right, and left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Rock from side to side. The very last one, I promise, is the hold, hold, hold. And this is the one, we have several variations. While you're resting, I'm showing you. You start with the legs up, you have your hands behind the head. You're lifting your shoulder blades off the floor, you're pressing the chin down. All the time you need to focus on your lower back on the floor. You're going to start lowering your legs as low as you can control this hollow hold. So if you're going low, you can go low, you can stay here and look on your belly all the time, focusing on just pulling the belly in and pressing the lower back down. Okay, we're going to have 3 sets of 5 counts only today. You're lowering your legs only to the point when you control your lower back. Okay, if you're feeling your lower back is coming off the floor, immediately stop. So legs up, head off the floor. Look on your belly, lower your leg to position that you're controlling, and hold. 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's rest. Bring the feet down to the floor. Maybe move your knees from side to side. And we'll have another set. Lift your legs. Take your head off the floor. So pull in the belly. So feel of the movement that you want to press the lower back down. Lower your legs to the level you control. Hold. 4 or 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's rest. And just one more set, I promise, and we are going to the stretching part. So lift your legs up, head off the floor, lower your legs, hold 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So just catch your breath here. And then let us roll on the belly for just the abdomen muscle stretch. So for the stretch, you take your legs wide and have your arms in front. And you don't need to go really high because you're not working with the back of your body. All what you want to do is to create a little bit of the stretch of the abdomen muscle. So depend on the comfortable position for the spine, that you're not jamming, you're just pressing the belly down and stretching that. But you don't want to compress your lower back too much. You don't want to feel any discomfort on your back. You're only stretching the front of the body. Make sure shoulders are relaxed too. Exhale. Get your hips and legs heavy. And then release. Let's again roll on the back. And this time, bring your knees to your chest. Take your arms overhead. Just hang here a couple of times. And then come to the happy baby to stretch glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. So make sure that you're not rolling off the floor with your tailbone. Have it all flat. Shoulders are relaxed. You don't need to work too hard by pressing the knees down. I just want to create a gentle stretch for the areas that we targeted today. And it was the hamstrings and glutes. Exhale. Shoulders relaxed. Feel that you release in the lower back. Maybe some of you in hollow hold had some issues, had some trouble to maintain lower back flat. So it's a good release here. Let's release the toes and bring your feet down to the floor. Take your arms into T position. Drop the knees to the left and then just walk your left foot toward the right edge of the mat and then slide your right knee as far to the left as it feels right for you. Turn the head to the right shoulder and relax. Releasing the right foot and coming back to the midline. Setting shoulders and hips. And then just dropping the knees to the right. Sliding the right foot toward the left edge of the mat. And then sliding the left knee toward the right. Finding your comfortable position. Turning the head to the left. Let's release and return back to the center. Extend your leg, extend your arms, and let's allow the stretch for the sides of the body. Come into Bananasana. Moving your heels to the left side of the mat, crossing the right leg on the top, holding the right wrist if that's possible. Just relax in the right side of the body. Returning back to the center, resting on the center, adjusting heels and head to return back on the midline. Walking the feet to the right, walking the head and arms to the right, holding the left wrist, maybe crossing the left ankle on the top of the right, having the very heavy left hip. And then returning back to the center. I would like you to use the block and place the block under the hips. So elevated inversion. Make sure the block is under the sacrum, not under the waist area. And lift your legs up. Relax your arms. Let's have a 1 minute with a lifted leg. Very, very restorative inversion that you would like to practice. Feel how the legs becoming light. You might shake the legs, you might move the ankles or even bend the knees a little bit. So that's okay. You're still inverted. You don't necessarily have to be in stillness here. Shaking is also activating even more their lymphatic system. Any shaking is good. Any jumps are good. And then we'll drop the feet down, remove the block, bring the hips down to the floor. When you're ready, extend your legs, extend your arms. Maybe you need to squeeze the shoulder blades to adjust the shoulder blades and then relax them. We today targeted the abdomen, core, deep core muscles, posterior chain muscles. So try to relax the back of your body and try to relax the midsection of the torso. Like allow your belly to fall toward the spine. And as you're holding the stillness here, feel free to connect to the center. Connect to your abdomen area. The tissues are building when we are relaxed. You might feel the blood circulation increase in this area from the exercises that we perform today. Make sure you're aware of your neutral spine position. One more time. With the surface of the floor, you have the opportunity to just settle the pelvis and push this muscle memory into your nervous system to practice anytime when you need. Gentle moves returning in toes and fingers, and circles and wrists, bending the knees when you're ready, dropping the knees to one side and coming into the seated position. You can go cross-legged or you're welcome to use any other position. And we'll bring the hands to the knees and come into seated position. Bring the hands in front of the heart. Thank yourself for being able to practice today, having time, settle this time on your timetable to be on the mat. And I hope you feel energized and in positive mode that you can now continue with your day. Namaste.